And before we get started, I'd like to thank my sponsors. My sponsor being my lovely wife that got me my new camera and microphone set up for Christmas. Thank you, dear. I love you. Now, on to the show. Welcome back to part 4 of Space Academy's Seeking the Seeker. We're at the point where we're going to put some actual paint on here beyond primer. I just wanted to get a quick video of what this looked like before we got started. It's all taped off, it's ready to go. So we're going to step into the paint booth there and get some color on this. Be right back. Fresh out of the paint booth, I painted the Seeker with a flat white. One detail that I failed to capture when I was working on this was the fact that there's a light gray line on either side of the model. So I'm having to tape off the sides to capture that detail. I want to make sure I don't get any overspray, so I go as high as I can without having to cover the whole model with paint. Also trying to make sure that the line ends at the same spot on either side. I've just ended up eyeballing where the width of the line. I could have measured it, but you know, it is what it is. It's gonna look fine once we get it all. Now for the big reveal. You never know how good of a job you did on your masking until this point right here. It came out pretty well. I'm not dissatisfied with how that looks, especially for a last minute detail. So we're at the point now where all the painting for the most part is done, save the clear coat. We're on to greeblies. So these parts here, that tank at the top, and the long range targeting sensor. For these parts there, I'm using, they're called hidden cover, screw cover hidden. So you normally would take a screw, put it in there, and then you fold the cap back. All I need is the cap. So between using the cap and this quarter round styrene, I'm creating this bar cap, and there are 3 on either side. So we've got that going, and what we're going to do, I had a little bit of problem with those. I could not get the glue to stick the styrene to that, and I thought maybe it was a release agent problem, so I ended up cleaning them with alcohol and trying it again, and that worked a little bit better. Not even using the accelerator didn't help, so what did help is just gluing it and letting it cure on its own. And just to further hold it, I took it off, took them all, once I had them all made, I painted them all gray, and then the paint itself is like another layer that's holding it all together. So we got that, and we need to do the landing. I need to figure out what to do with my landing tracks there. I did notice once I did get these pieces on, they actually hang out a little bit lower down. I have got mine placed a little bit further down on the model than what they do, so when it's sitting flat, it's kind of interrupts that. It's almost resting on those. So I'm gonna have to go through and put my landing tracks on there, but put them just low enough to keep those from being rubbed from it sitting there. We're just gonna keep on moving, and we get what we get. Isn't she beautiful? As much as I'd like to say I'm done, I can't. Unfortunately, I bought some water slide decals, and Amazon said that the U.S. Post Office delivered it. I didn't see them, so got to get some more of those coming. There are only a couple of decals on this ship. There's one on the nose, there's one on the tail, and sometimes I have seen where in the show they would have like three ships, like one, two, and three, and they would mark it like on the side, there, there or there somewhere. Anyway, aside from that, we are going to get this going. What are you doing?
Just trying to be on YouTube.
Why?
Because I want to be famous.
I'm not famous, so what makes you think you're going to be famous?
I don't know, but people that at least watch it make it. So yeah, I'm going to make my happiness where I can. I can't reach the camera.
That's right. There's a reason for that. On here, also, I made this part right there, I placed them kind of low on the model, so it was resting on these and rubbing off the paint. You can see a little bit where it was starting to rub the paint on where it was resting. So I've got in order to get it to rest on the tank treads, I had to make them lower than this bottom edge, and all I did there is just put a couple of pieces of styrene and rested them on that, glued it, painted white. We're good to go. There you go. Also in the video, you saw me getting the thruster cone put on. The problem I had there was once I put it on, I didn't get it all the way in, and it was sticking out way further than I liked it. So I had to take it right back off. I went in and widened my opening a little bit, got it shoved in there and seated properly, got it at the angle that I wanted. Now we're good to go. On a side note, you probably, if it were me on your end, well, I would be wondering, well, what happened to the rest of the Saturn V model? Well, it went into the Interstellar model kit because with the Interstellar model kit, you get a 144th scale piece of the Ranger that you can put on the top of it. So I've got it all set up with all the rest of my Interstellar stuff. A little bit of side notes on our Greeblies. We had, that's a bomb off of a World War II plane. That is a starter and solenoid off of an engine, radiator, tank, drive sprocket, and I think those are radiator hangers or whatever. I got that off of a tank model kit. But if you look at the internet, at some of these pictures, if you can find a kind of a close-up, they use the same sort of stuff, and it's really, really, really close. So this is going to be a twofer for me because I'll be able to put this in a display case, and I'll be able to get that hung finally. I took some other pictures so you can get some better shots of it, enjoy the photos, and a couple I had a little bit of fun with. But it's time for me to go start on my next project, and you need to go build something.
Pew 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 pew.